Sanghathang. Today I'm going to touch on this topic on Sanghathang and doing marriage. Thai called Thamboon, Sangboon, Sangkuson. I plan to do this video as a real education, and also to next time people ask me about Sanghathang, I can just refer back to the video. Okay, but before we go on to Sanghathang, I'm going to do quite a lengthy one today on Thamboon, one time one shot. Okay, you see, as Buddhists, we are always being taught, always do Thamboon, always Thamboon, always Thamboon, to Sangboon, Sangkuson, always build merits. So even Prabhupada Janto, Samdet To tell us that, you know, when you wear amulet, right? Sometimes you really meet with difficulties, and then if you have no bone, of course, Samdet To put it in a very, very beautiful way. From my mouth, it's just very layman. But from Ajahn To, the writings that was written down, was recorded, was very beautiful. Okay, it really will move anyone listen to it, who listen to the speech. But the depiction was that if you don't have bone, if you meet with any difficulties, how do you expect to get help? So it's like, put it in a very layman's way, it's like, you know, in a bank you have your own savings, every now here and there a bit, and then when emergency occurs, you really need some cash, then you have something to tie you off with this time. This is the very layman terms to explain to people. Okay, but bone is not measurable. Bone is not measurable. Sometimes I always tell people, sometimes the people with no belief, no religion, you know, those people without any religion, those atheists, okay, atheists. When they have no religion, they have no God, they have no form of figures that they worship to, they are atheists. They call atheists because they have no religion at all. Or some call them free thinkers. They actually have more merits than us, because always when we do Boon, you and I, although I may have a more clearer mind, but I still have the slight notion of I'm going to get merits from making this merit making event, right? But for them, for the atheists, it's different. For the atheists, actually, sometimes I feel that they have even their merits is even bigger, because their thoughts are purer. Okay, this is at least what I think. Their thoughts are actually much more purer. They only want to help because of their own true compassion. They saw someone across the street, they need food, they see the animals that are injured, and then they don't think of things like, oh, I'm going to get merits. But in our subconscious mind, because of our religion, our teaching, in subconsciously somewhere around that corner, we have this thinking, right? But they don't. So actually, because when you do it out of pureness of helping someone in need, that help is actually real. It's actually real help out of compassion, out of your mercy. But for us, although yes, it might come from our very own compassion too, but somewhere sitting down in the corner, sometimes we also die bunla. Also, this is some of the things that separates us from the free thinkers and our religion people. Okay, of course, some will make use of this, the compassion of people to actually cheat money. Okay, this is happening since eons ago. There's nothing to hide. It's still happening these days, especially when now with this pandemic, everyone is affected. Even more coming up with this charitable stuff to put money into your own pocket. Let's just put it this way, right? So remember, when you do merits, it doesn't mean that you sometimes for busy people like Singaporeans, it's okay. We feel that we come across this charitable organization. Listen, we come across this charitable organization, then they tell you, they put up a story. May the story be real, may the story be unreal, we don't know. But you read, It makes sense. Everything this you go through your own filtration system. It makes sense, and then you feel that this money is really going to help someone, right? And then we just transfer some funds over to them because we might not have the time to actually go and do it. Okay, this is also Thamboon. Okay, because you saw those pictures where people are really in need, and then you stirred your compassion, and then you wanted to help. So this is merits making. Okay, try to put that thought in front of you first. That thought of somebody getting help from you must come first. That's called charity from heart. Not I'm gonna get boon. Okay, so this makes the charity become secondary. It becomes like an exchange. Okay, you are trying to negotiate for an exchange or something like that. So charity must come from your heart. It must be pure. The intention must be pure. Right? There's a saying. Last time my Ajahn Nam taught me this story. Very interesting. Someone did very good merits with a fake monk. Okay, but he did sins, karma, bab we call bad karma with a real monk. Okay, the story as it is very simple. I'll try to simplify the story. Now this guy saw this monk tell him a very pitiful story. You know, his temple was so badly affected. The monks in there suffering, and then so-called this rich man or this king, I can't remember, was really very compassionate towards this monk. So he decided to put in a lot of money to give the monks to rebuild his temple, make sure everything runs back as smoothly as ever. And then he was very happy because the monk give him the thanks, and then went off, say, take this money, go and do some merits. Okay, so somehow later somebody informed him that monk was fake. Right, the monk was fake. So he was very angry. And then a few days later, another monk came by. Another monk also told him the same story. Right, the temple affected. He is coming out to get alms. So just to pass down this message, anybody who want to donate and want to contribute, please do so. The king or the rich merchant chased him out. Okay. I can't remember the story whether he did attack him, but it was chased out, scolded harshly. It was treated very harshly. So the sin was because the monk was real. The problem that this second monk appeared, the problem was real. Right? He's a real monk. But because this story he thought it's another cheater, another fake monk, another scam, he became agitated and committed the sins. Okay, so this is what happened. So, but you were asking, the first monk was a fake monk. The story was fake, but he already given the money. Was there merit being done? Of course, merits kecak-cai. The boon, the merit grew in the heart. Okay, because initially he wanted to help. Right, he wanted to help. And it was done. Okay, above there already saw the intention was really pure. He really took pity on the monk and the temple and whoever the monk said he was affected. Right, he just wanted them to have a better life, everything being repaired. So the merit was done. So merit, even if you pass to a charitable organization, it happened to be a fake, merit is done. Ajahn also told me, you want to do merit, you read, you believe, give, and then stop thinking. Okay, that's merits done. If you keep have to think, what the hell, don't know it's a real one or not, 不懂是真还是假，他妈的有没有骗我钱, then you better don't do. This one will hinder your merits making hard. Or at least it will train your heart to be skeptical. Of course, certain things we must be skeptical. So this the basic fundamentals of a merit. it comes from the heart, especially from the purest of heart. So actually, if you ask me, those free thinkers actually have the purest, because they don't have all this getting married, so-called, so on and so forth, in the middle of in the front of our head. We do how we do. We have that. Okay. Now, then we go back to Sanghathang. Okay. Okay, you see this. Usually we see this image of Buddha, and then there's two disciples on the left and right. These are so-called the most attained, the two most attained disciple of Buddha. But the name of their Pali name, one is called Shariputra, and one is called Moggallana. The most highly attained in terms of the Dharma from the teacher, two disciples of the Buddha. Of course, there are a few more, like Kassapa, and then, but usually we see these two Arahang beside the Buddha. We call Shariputra and Moggallana. Now Moggallana, okay, you see. Now Moggallana in Chinese is called Mu Lian. Mu Lian, because there was a Chinese story, so in Chinese it's called Mu Lian, or in Pali Moggallana. This is the Chinese depiction of Moggallana, Moggallana. In Chinese they call him Mu Lian. So the story of Mu Lian Jiu Mu, I'm not sure how many of you have heard before. Mu Lian Jiu Mu is the story of Moggallana saving the mother. So Moggallana has a very high attainment, just like Sariputra. They, in their meditation form, they can actually lift they can actually, as in the Doctor Strange, they can go with the astral body to other realms to see what's happening, and then come and tell the Buddha. But that's where he saw his own mother was actually suffering in the realm of the hungry ghost because of past karma, very bad karma. So even with his Sanghathang, if his so powerful attainment, cannot save him. This is karma. No one can be bigger than karma. So even if he appears to his mother with food, the food one touches the mouth, it becomes burning charcoal, burning hot, so they cannot eat. So this is the suffering. They have to repay for past bad karma. So this is called the hungry ghost realm, which is why the Chinese have the hungry ghost festival. This is the Chinese depiction of the Moggallana saving the mother, Mu Lian Jiu Mu. So usually the Chinese, they will always depict Buddha and Mu Lian in a very Chinese form, and then this is our more Chinese hell form, Di Yu, and then their robes are always in the Mahayana form, right? And then the Canzang. Karma is much more bigger than everyone else. So karma seems to be bigger than everyone, everything around us. Even with the so powerful attainment of Moggallana, there's no Sanghathang, there's no powers that you can save your mother. She has to repay her debt. Even if you know the whole story, Moggallana, Mu Lian himself was actually killed by, if I can remember correctly, it should be bandits. He was killed at the age of 84. Okay, even Moggallana was killed. So this was also due to his past karmic debt. Okay, but his karmic debt is even heavier, because in one of his previous life, he actually killed his own parents. Okay, so the Bao Ying was that this life he was killed by some bandits, died very horribly. Okay, so that's karma. Now Moggallana saw his mother suffering. Then he of course consulted the Buddha, because he wasn't able to save her. So the story is that Buddha advised him, go and do swat, all the chanting. Every time you chant, there's merit. So all this merit you dedicate back to your mother. And go and do Sanghathang. That means you go and do Gong Yang Sen. Okay, listen, this one a bit sensitive. Monks, if you practice Buddha's way, that's why I only follow the Thai side, because Thai side they are more closer. If you follow the Buddha's way, you only can eat once a day. Okay? That because you are still trapped in your meat suit, even if you are Buddha now, you are Arahant now, you are still trapped in this worldly meat suit in this life before you go on and then you leave your human body and be in your astral form. So called. This is what we guess lah. So go and do Sanghathang. That means you offer food to the Sangha community. So he as a monk also was asked to do that, and then offer them with ropes or things that the monks need to use daily, because monks they are not allowed to get alms of money. They cannot get money, they cannot use money to buy stuff. Everything they use, they eat, have to be given in terms of alms, donation. Right? So that's why if you see monks 3 p.m. in the 7-Eleven buy chewing gum, it's then asking go ahead and go back sleep earlier. Okay? Monks are not allowed to have any money or do any money transaction. Okay? Everything they have to be given to them as alms. That's why when we do Sanghathang, we actually go and buy some daily necessity. Nowadays, people are more well-to-do, so we go to any markets there to buy some necessity, water, or maybe what. It depends. Sometimes I buy 3-in-1 coffees. Usually my wife does that now. I just pay money only. And then we buy rice, we buy water. And then tissue papers, that things that they need to use. Especially nowadays, we buy hand sanitizer, toilet paper, tissue paper, some stuff that can be used daily, toothbrushes, soaps, shampoos lah. The scalp also need to do shampooing. Okay, things that are necessary for a daily life of a human meat suit, right? So we offer them as Sanghathang, and then in return, the monks will help us swat mon, and then chant to dedicate all the merits back to our parents, our Chao Kam Nai Wen, that means the past karmic debtors, so on and so forth. This is a very big merit being done. We call Sanghathang. That is why we do Sanghathang. Usually I don't buy those ready one from the temple, because it's a very significant thing. It's just a significant. They bring down the whole thing, they put it down there, they let you chant, and then they put it back. Nobody did use anything. So I prefer to buy stuff that contains quality that I will use myself. I'll offer it to the Sangha. Right? This is called Sanghathang. And usually after they do the Sanghathang, they will ask you to pour the water, the merits water, into the bowl. They call it Kot Nam. After that, you're supposed to bring to the tree or any soil and release it to Pratmet Tharani, and then ask her to help you bring the merits to all those concerned. Right? This merits is to your parents, your departed loved ones, your karmic debtors, including ourselves. So you just do it lah. Although I keep telling you, I'll do it for Ajahn Pleng, Pai Ha Kao. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is for everyone. Okay? So you accumulate all these merits. Hopefully, next life we reborn better lah. No need to work until so cham. But the idea of Sanghathang is like that. Because monks are not supposed to use money and buy stuff. So we relieve them of this headache by offering stuff that they need, so they can fully concentrate on what they need to do, which is cultivation, right? Cultivation of the Dharma teachings. So when they realize higher, they can spread it to us, because we call them Ajahn, to teachers. So we also benefit, but they make the sacrifice. For example, my name is Webster. Now they gave up their life as Webster. You understand? They gave up their life as Webster to be under the Dharma teachings, to be under to become a monk, to be ordained. They no longer is the person they are. They no longer is the person they are when they were a layman. They are now given a new name. So this is a very big sacrifice. So we give them the things to make to lessen their burden. Okay. Some also offer food because in the morning they go bintabat. That means they go for alms round. We also give them food. In ancient times, people are not so well to do. So the law that Buddha spread around was that everyone should just give whatever you have. Right? Whatever you have, you just give. And then they will gladly take it. They are not allowed to choose. You are not allowed to choose, I only no such thing. You know, everything you have, because last time people is cook, maybe they eat 1 day or 2 days. So whatever you have in the house, you can just pass it over to the Sangha community. If you need only half for the rest of the day before you cook again tomorrow, then you put half to give to the Sangha. And then they will take the food for use as energy for the rest of the day. This is what bintabat is about. But nowadays, everybody is well to do. We can actually cook ourselves. Some of the Thai, they actually cook very early in the morning, and then they actually wait outside for the monks to pass by. This is called bintabat. They sai bat. We sai bat. Called bintabat. Okay, so these are the basic fundamentals of a monk, of Sanghathang. So Sanghathang is to relieve the Sangha community of the trouble to get all this basic necessity. They are monks, they are still in the meat suit. If they don't brush their teeth 1 week, it's going to stink like hell. It's very unhygienic. Okay, so we still need to give them some brushes, toothpaste, whatever you need to clean themselves. So this is the basic fundamental. So it's a very big merit, Sanghathang. That's why I always tell people to do Sanghathang. Okay? Now, going back to Moggallana. So Buddha asked him to do Sanghathang to all the monks, and then chant and then transfer the merits back to your mother. And then hopefully she'll be relieved a bit. Okay? So of course he did, because the story goes, after everything was done, after a while, the Moggallana also went into his so-called vipassana, and then he managed to go down to the hell realm to see the mother, which was already much better with all the merits given to her. She was much better, able to eat. I can't remember the story well, but I supposed to be like able to eat, like, not so much, but managed to eat, can consume food. That means maybe not so hungry. So the idea of the thing is, that to transfer all the merits back to the mother. So this is called Sanghathang. To provide monks with the necessities that they cannot otherwise go purchase themselves, because monks are not supposed to even have money, right? You're not supposed to have any links to the secular world. You're no longer a secular person. So this also spurred some of the Hungry Ghost festival of our Chinese folklore. So there's a linkage There's a linkage from the Chinese festival Hungry Ghost to the original Buddhistic story. So that's why, of course, there are twists and turns around the Indian culture, and then come to Chinese culture. Definitely there are twists and turns. So I don't know how it works. So merits to me is the most important thing. Not Kim Zua. I say Kim Zua because this is my Chinese belief. This is my culture. I do it because I'm Chinese. 支那啦，我係中國人。Otherwise, other than that, I tell you, I wouldn't say much but merits is more important. So every day, actually every day when I chant every day before I sleep, I will just dedicate all the merits back to my my father, mother to be the first, all the teachers around me, all my teachers in layman, or all the monks that I'm praying to, I dedicate back to them. Especially now my dad is gone, I dedicate back to my dad and mom. Now left mother only. So the idea of Sanghathang is like that. Okay? To relieve the monks, the Sangha, of the inconvenience to get all these daily necessities for their own use. Okay? So this is supposed to be very good merit. So when you go to the temple, ask you what you want to do, you brought the stuff over, and you tell them, Achan, Rama Tham Sanghathang, we come and do Sanghathang. Then they will know what to do already. I keep it short, Sanghathang. Then they'll know what to do. Okay, buy your own stuff. Even in Thailand, I go to Big C and those ready pill, I don't buy that because inside the stuff are not of very good quality. Things that I will not use. I don't think it's good to offer to the monks because I only buy stuff that I will own self use. Then I offer to them. Okay. Of course, the food thing occasionally I will do. My wife will force me to do because I have to wake up very early. Monks are not supposed to eat past 12. Okay. If you follow the Thammayut sect monk, you only can eat once. That's why monks are not allowed to exercise. Because if you exercise, you're burning more energy. You're only allowed to eat to sustain that one day of energy. That's why you only go around doing cleanliness of the temple, and then most of the time you're learning the Dharma. That means you're using more eye and brain power, less mouth and less physical power. So you understand? But if you don't understand, you all can shoot me question. So this is all about Thamboon. Remember Thamboon. That means your heart must have the intention. You must have something spurred your compassion, and then you wanted to help. Right. Not necessarily have to be human. You can be an animal on the streets or something like that. Show more compassion. So this is called Thamboon. The first intention that occurs have to be that, oh shit, you want to help because 很可怜 pitiful. So this is then the merit is already built. Okay? Then when you really give the help, then the help is being rendered. Then there's selfless help. But in the first thing, you think, you get married now. That's not really married. Because the first intention that occurred was not, the pity that you have for this subject. Okay? So that's all about Thamboon. All about Sanghathang. So not any more question, you can just drop me a comment.